Hi, Spokes. I'm excited about our first question, what education will look like in 5 years. Because working in educational technology, I think it's incumbent upon me to think about that daily and also think about how we'll get there. Given the state of public schools and the rate at which public schools normally change, it's easy to argue that education will look exactly the same in 5 years. There's one story in particular that I might share. I met a colleague, mostly online, probably about 1.5 to 2 years ago. And though I've only talked with this gentleman for about 30 to 45 minutes face to face, I've had a chance to go back and forth with him and share ideas with him for, like I said, about the last 2 years. One of his interests that he's expressed online was making his middle school language arts classroom or his middle school literacy classroom more like a MOOC, more openly networked, more participatory, and highly constructivist and choice-oriented. Because he blogged about that probably 1 year ago and shared even a Google Doc where folks could contribute to this idea of a middle school MOOC, I've become familiar with how he frames his class and what he thinks about education and what he wants next for both himself and for his students. One of the things that I can predict will be available for students are openly networked online learning opportunities in a few years. In 5 years, for example, my oldest daughter, will be entering middle school. And what I would imagine by then, because of a lot of factors, I would imagine that she will have the choice to either take a face-to-face class that's available at her school, or probably opt into an online learning experience that her school or her school district offers. But I also think that because of the efforts of people like Chad and some of the organizations that are really trying to think together about how students learn best in online spaces, I would imagine that my daughter will also have the opportunity to take an open online course that is in part facilitated by Chad. And though Chad lives in a different part of the country, the things he shares about his classroom and how he works with students means that the education that my daughter might opt into is really transparent and open and participatory. Students will have a choice to decide who they'd like to learn from and which communities they'd like to learn with, and that many of those communities will be online. The move toward more universal standards will probably support badging systems so students can go earn badges in different learning opportunities, do work in online spaces, and then take that work to the face-to-face or the brick-and-mortar educational space and earn credit for it. What I know for sure is that my daughter will bring a computer to school, but I don't think the big change will be about the devices she'll use. I think that the big change will be about the choices afforded to her about who she'd like to learn from and the communities she'd like to learn with and how she'd like to demonstrate her learning. I really look forward to this fellowship, and I'm anxious to think along with you.